Daily stock market update, 10th of March. Well, global stocks are rallying today after Donald Trump's comments that the war might be over, which would mean oil prices return to some degree of normality. There's a problem with that analysis. Trump will look at that and think, right, that's given me a bit more leeway. But there's another problem. The momentum has already set in to some extent, and any bump we get today, do not be fooled into thinking that a bull rally is automatically guaranteed. Very often you'll get this initial bounce up before you get sanity and reality kicking in and other reasons for the market to worry. We're still very much near all-time highs, lots of excuses to take profits. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we subsequently get a further dip down as Trump eases back on some of the comments he's already made about the war ending. Anyway, for now, the stocks, Europe 600 is up about 2.2%. There'll be lots of euphoria. Be careful. If you are feeling euphoria or despondency yesterday, then you've probably overinvested in the market. You're taking more risk than is healthy, and you're probably moving into the area of speculation and gambling. A good way to determine that you're not gambling is if you have a sense of equanimity, whether the markets rally or fall. It suggests that you've got a good portfolio then, and you've left it to the portfolio to manage the market movements, not you hoping external factors will do it instead. Okay, Asia was up 3.3 after taking one hell of a battering yesterday. US futures are up ahead of the open, and that is good news, obviously, for those markets. Critical will be whether they can stay near the highs of the day by the close of the day. It's a thing in the hedge fund industry we look for. It's a usual signal of strength and positivity. However, as I've said, tomorrow is another day. And if the American president's words can make such a big volatile difference to the markets, then you certainly shouldn't be gambling on a turnaround in everything going straight up from here on in. The latest index shows the S&P should be up about 0.8%, NASDAQ 1.3%. It took the biggest battering because it tends to be more volatile, because the stocks are the ones which give the biggest growth and profits. So it has the most incentive amongst its followers to take those profits at the first sign of any kind of trouble. The FTSE 100's up about 1.4 to 1.6%, massive. If you did want gold or FTSE 100 or even crypto, you'd have a maximum of 5% in those. So if you've got FOMO on some of these doing well, or you feel you're missing out, it's very simple. If you've got 40 securities in your portfolio, then 2.5% in each. If you've got 20, then 5% in each. And then the amount you keep in cash depends upon your age. And I'd probably suggest 2 to 3 years worth of expenditure in cash, so you're never a forced seller of securities in your pension. You should certainly never be a panicked seller of securities in your pension, because if you are, it suggests you've got the completely wrong mindset or the wrong securities to begin with. The Nikkei up about 2.9%. As I've said, all of it off the back of one speech, but none of that means that we've got a turnaround. I still fully expect during the course of this year a 14% drop in the S&P. That doesn't mean I also expect a negative year in the S&P. You can have both a 14% drop, in fact, it'd be quite normal, which is why I expect it to happen, and a positive year. Oil was down for those who shorted it yesterday. Well done. But don't be surprised for this volatile ride. You can book your profits. What's now? What's the day after for you? Do you gamble for even lower? Well, with oil, it's one of those instruments. If you can get cheap financing to go short on oil, then $50, $60 a barrel has been the average over the last few years. You're fine, but you've got to be able to hold it to move against you up to even $150, I would have thought. You certainly don't want to be gambling that it couldn't go that high. Gold is up again, 1.6%. Hedge, geopolitical risk, the usual stories with gold. From what I understand, the most bullish target for gold is double current levels. So you can see and everybody seems to be on the bullish side. And contrarianism, it only works about 20% of the time. So don't try and be contrarian either. It certainly works being with the crowd, because the crowd tends to have the money. Markets, therefore, are rallying because war fears have eased. Oil is dropping because of the relief. rally that's happening in equities. Tech stocks are leading the rebound in the US because we realized, hey, there's a lot right with the world. There's technology. If I look at what's happening on the news front and what's going out there, we've got some normal comments from headlines, such as discussions about AI again, which is good to see. Oracle earnings and profitability, Volkswagen as well. Tariff talk, we forgot about that. IPOs, and that's all a good sign. SanDisk, one of the ones we like, is up 11%. Teradyne, also one we like, is up 8% as well. On the downside, Arthur J. Gallagher, it is one we like, but it's been taking quite a battering recently. As part of a portfolio of 40 stock, not worried. It's down 4.5%. You can see why you're not worried. If you've got 2.5% in Arthur J. Gallagher and you've got a 4.5% drop of 2.5% of your holdings, can you see why you shouldn't be worried? The people who panic are the ones who might lose $10 and panic. Oh my God, I've lost $10 in a day. And that's how you know you've got the wrong mindset for it as well. The US has given a waiver to India on oil, so Indian growth should benefit. And I suspect the Indian markets, I've not had a look, will stage a massive rally today after yesterday's massive tumble. That will fuel more Indian growth because they're going to buy cheap Russian oil because the Americans want them to. Previously, the Europeans had begged the Indians to buy Russian oil. Now it's the Americans for obvious reasons, and that should help Indian growth. However, I would not, as I've said before, be in the INDA, India Exchange Traded Fund, until we see evidence of a bottoming out on the moving average of the prices, which is still a little bit away, I think. We'll get back to things like NVIDIA and Intel and the usual headline grabbers as normal service resumes, but it certainly hasn't yet. I've got an interesting angle. I might be completely wrong on this. This new Ayatollah Jr.'s right-hand man was allegedly an inside person for Mossad. I don't want to go into the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. The bullish case is Ayatollah Jr. is a bit like the new Syrian leader, ends up reaching a hand of friendship. I might be being naive. I might be being over-optimistic. Maybe there's a 0.1% probability of that. Let's see. Ever the optimist. Please do like, comment, share, follow. If you comment on this video, more people get it. More people get it. I do more of these. Thank you all very much. And as ever, please have a look at alpeshpatel.com. You'll find email addresses and free pension reviews on there and all sorts of other useful things and all my free resources on there as well. Thanks a lot.